Hello traders, today is Thursday, November 21st, 2024. I'm going to go over 13 different names. However, this video is not going to be fully based on technical analysis. It's going to be based on names that I mentioned in the past that actually end up reacting the way that I was thinking they were going to react. Keep in mind, this video is not financial advice, or any of my videos are financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. Do your own due diligence and research before you invest your money. Let's start with AFRM. AFRM is one of those names that I've been mentioning for quite a while. I mean, we were back. Let me get to the right screen. We were back over here when I was starting to talk about AFRM, and then we had this move after earnings. I got more interest on AFRM back in this area, and then we had these very nice breakouts from these trend lines and also from support and resistance level. Now more recently we started talking about the 42.5 level, which is this level right here, and the gaps that we had and got covered. We had a rebound on the 35 SMA, and then we continue going towards over 45 and 47, and then 51.8, and now we are finding ourselves at 65.7. Today AFRM was up 4%. Anyways, this was one of these names that I was talking about that we played both ways. We played these moves to the upside and some of them to the downside, but then we had this great opportunity here to the upside, starting basically towards the end of October. So this was one of those trades that I mentioned that actually worked out pretty well. I had, I guess, analysis that were in some areas I was thinking that the stock was a little bit overextended, like in this area, and I was going short, and then it actually took advantage of the reaction on the 35 SMA to the upside, and then obviously what we have seen in the last month for AFRM, which is pretty spectacular. So that's one of the names that I gave you in the last, I guess, 2 months. Another name that was quite interesting was Best Buy, and one of the things that I was saying was that this, right on this area right here, we were already going to start getting a little bit extended. The reaction after earnings back in August was pretty dramatic, and in my opinion, I had a thesis that we were gonna continue or actually start going down. Now I took advantage of this move right here, and then on the double top I did short this again. So we had this I guess a resistance level that was hit on previous heights, the heights of August, and then by the end of September I saw an opportunity to short Best Buy. Now we had this beautiful move down towards 89.6, which was a price target, and then we had a rebound. Then one of the following days, I think this was in the beginning of this month, we went down all the way to 85. Yes, I don't have my glasses, so I'm having a little of a hard time. Then we actually retest these levels, came down, and we are on the 200 SMA. So this whole move, especially from this second, I did take advantage of the first top, but the second top, in my opinion, was even more obvious, and I did take advantage of this move and this consecutive move right here. So I did short all the way here to this resistance, to the support level, and then actually let me put a support level right here. I'd rather use these wicks right here to the support level, and then after that I took advantage of a second move. I did short this for a couple of days. I didn't hold all the way to 89, but I did take advantage of this break right here on this area. Anyways, that was Best Buy. Gave it to you not only in August, but I also mentioned the short back on towards the end of September, beginning of October. Now let's move on to this one. Is a little bit older, but I really like the setup. I did pretty well with this one, and that was Celsius. So we had a very obvious double top. Let me zoom out. We had this double top right here. I did enter on the second one, just like Best Buy, and I sold right on this area right here, right under the 35 SMA. Little that I knew this was going to continue going down. Now, one of the things that I've been telling you about Celsius is this is untradeable until you break 35.7. In my opinion, this is a very strong resistance level. Back here, a lot of people on X were saying, you know, this is gonna, this is it, this is a move. And yeah, you had a move of almost 15%, but you got stuck on resistance at 35.7. And then that was it. You went down towards 26 and actually below the 27 level. And now you're back. Today it closed almost 5%. If we actually count the after hours, yeah, you're 5% up. But you know, so far I don't see an opportunity here. I don't know if this is the bottom, which could be, but I'm not gonna feel comfortable on getting back into Celsius to the upside, which I'd rather trade to the upside until we break 35.7. That's my suggestion. But anyways, I just wanted to mention this. Another name that I mentioned that worked out very pretty much the way I was thinking it was gonna work. It is Salesforce or CRM. Let me take a, okay, so CRM back here, and this was, wow, this was in May already. We had this move, and what I said is we had a gap, and I like to put graphs like this square thing. We had this gap right here, and one thing that I said was that gap is going to fill. I mean, Salesforce is just it's not a it's a solid company, at least for now. And what I said is this is going to fill, and it did. I did take advantage of some of these moves, especially in this area right here. But the continuation of the move actually came from those earnings back in May. You had a full move, and let's say until today, of 60%. That's pretty decent, especially for a company the size of Salesforce. Anyways, beautiful moves, beautiful reaction on the 325 SMA, and right after that, you could just continue going. I'm not gonna give you any price targets on this yet, but I think this still has legs to continue going up. If you ask me, a retest to this on this area 310 or 311 would be actually optimal. But that's not what I'm talking about this video. I just wanted to let you know. I mentioned this back in May and throughout these moves, and I was positive that this gap was gonna fill, and that actually happened. Now let's move on to CrowdStrike. And I'm probably gonna miss some others that I was talking about in past videos, but you know. So CrowdStrike, I talked about CrowdStrike on the beginning of October. That's October 1st. Yeah, right on this candle. Let me zoom in. Right on this candle, what I said is we are gonna continue going up. We had a gap right here, which is already filled, and what I was thinking was that there was a good possibility of continuation towards 329. Actually, no, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses. 320, 339, 340. Anyways, right on this area right here, what I said is if we break resistance right at 280, we're definitely going to continue towards the 300s and beyond. That actually happened. We went over the 200 SMA, then we surfed on the 200 SMA until we got to the 35 SMA on the daily chart, and then a continuation towards 339, and now we are at 357. Beautiful move, beautiful trade. I think this still has more legs. That 35 SMA just crossed the 200 SMA. That's a good sign. Anyways, October 1st up until now, that was a beautiful call that we had. And then let's do a very recent one, and that is Datadog. Now this boat left me behind, to be honest. I was on this trade right here, so I did get calls. I got out right on the top on resistance at 131, which was a good trade in my opinion. Then we came down to a 35 SMA, and now look at this move. We are at 143. So when I was talking about going long on Datadog, it was November the 11th. Now 10 days later, 10 calendars later, the calendar days later, we are up almost 20%, probably more because I'm not being too precise on this. So that is a pretty incredible move in just a few days, 20%, very solid. Now, I think that we might have a little more legs to continue going up. The MACD and the TSI are just beginning, so you still have probably a few trading days. You have a gap right here that eventually is going to get filled. There is no liquidity here, so just be careful with that. But again, if you were one of those traders that actually took a position here, fantastic. Anyways, next one is, which is also recent, Disney. And after I take this quick note, so I was talking about Disney on the beginning of the month, somewhere around this area right here on the trend line. And then what happened? We broke, we had earnings, and we continue going up. We are at 114.72. Today was up only 0.40%. It's okay. We do have this gap right here, which we might end up filling if something happens or whatnot. But at least for now, this move was very profitable if you actually had, you know, any positions in this area. So I'm very glad that I mentioned Disney. I didn't actually get into this like I did on Datadog, and it was probably because I was trading something else. I think back here I was trading Amazon and Google and whatnot. But anyways, this was another beautiful move. I think that Disney might have a little bit, should cool down a little bit, but it definitely has room to continue going up. Wow, very nice. Anyways, now let's do another one. This is also very recent, and this is Doximity. And I was going short on this, and the reason for that is because we had this very dramatic, impulsive move to the upside after earnings, and then you had this massive gap of liquidity afterwards. MACD and TSI looked very, very extended, and it took a little bit of time for the RSI, I'm sorry, for the TSI to really curl and go under the signal line. But anyways, today was down another 3.8%. My estimation is, and we are at least going to go down towards 44.76. We still have a lot of room to continue going down. The MACD and the TSI are also just beginning to lose or to gain momentum to the downside. So yeah, this was one of those moves that I think that I thought was going to play out in a very particular way, and it actually happened that we went down towards my price target of 44.7. If we're gonna hit that price target or not, I'm not sure yet, but definitely from here, especially this candle towards where we are now, that's some money right there. We have a support area on the 35 SMA. We'll see how price action behaves on this area. But anyways, this is another name that I gave you that is playing out exactly the same way. Now that I'm looking at Enphase, Enphase is one of those things that just that I don't want to get distracted, but Enphase, I think there might be some opportunity here. It needs a little more time. Let's move on to the next name, and that is HIMS. Now, there is something particular about HIMS, especially now that I'm in this video that I'm talking. I'm not doing a technical analysis. I'm just talking about names that that play out the way I thought they were going to play out. And anyways, HIMS is a little bit special because I had different price targets, and all of them in one way or another were actually hit to the upside and to the downside. So to the upside, I had I think my first price target was 16.8, which we hit, and then the next one was 18.71, 21.77. I did have 23.4, which I did move to 23.8. So I had it at 23.4. Now it's 23.8. The reason why I moved that level is because I wanted to be more precise on these wicks right here, considering how old or how back that this structure goes. Anyways, so we did have all these levels. My next price target is 25.47, which I think we're gonna hit. As far as what happened today, it was up again 10%. MACD and TSI are looking much better than how they were looking yesterday. So this candle is actually super beneficial. Yesterday I said that we had to actually keep on the 35 SMA, and we also had to keep this level right here, 21.77, which is happening. Again, another surprising day, at least for me, that we went up 10%, going over this resistance level at I was confusing the actual price. Yeah, my level was 3.5, so I moved it from 23.4 to 23.5. Anyways, we are at what, 24 or post, or we went down 1.45. Anyways, so the current price is 23.8, which is very possible. I think we're gonna hit a price target of 25.7. Again, I'm really don't want to jump too much into technicals. I just wanted to mention HIMS is one of those, is in this list of names that I'm for this video because price targets were met. And what is special about this one is the price targets were met to the downside, and they were also met to the upside. Even in this area right here, I was talking about hitting this level, the possibility, not that we were gonna hit it, but the possibility of hitting or going back to 18.7. It kind of happened, and then after that, I also said that buyers are looking pretty strong as well, and now we are well on our way towards 25.47, or we can say 25.5. Anyways, yeah, HIMS still looking strong. It's one of these names that I at this point consider special as far as not only the money that I made with HIMS, but the technical analysis that I have been doing for this, and I feel like I even learned a lot about the behavior of this stock, especially because I've been covering it almost every day for a while. But anyways, it's another banger that we got from 16 all the way to new highs 29.7, or actually 30 something up here, and also the prediction going down again, and now we're moving up again. So interesting name. So another bankers that I gave you. Let's move on to LULU, which I if I can find it, yeah, LULU. That was another name that, or is another name that actually moved the way that I was thinking, and I was, alerting everybody right on this area in the 35 SMA the next day, and this was the beginning of October as well, just like CrowdStrike and I believe some other names. I was saying that we're probably continue going up, or actually, retesting this level, and after that going up. What happened the next day, we went under the 35 SMA, but we closed mounting the 35 SMA back on October the 3rd. After that, you had this beautiful move from, what is it, pretty much 260 all the way up to 320 something, 335, 334. Now we went down towards another support level of 300 and pretty much 300. So we went back to the 35 SMA, and now we're coming back up. Anyways, this was one of those setups that I provided in one of my videos and several videos actually, and now we're retesting support again, and we'll see what happens on the 200 SMA. So hopefully you actually took advantage of that. Let's move on to another name. If I can find it, here you are. So this is SHAK. I don't know if any of you is familiar with this name. So the setup that I was looking at was this trend line, and also this curve that we had on price action. I gave you this name back towards the end of October, and my thesis was, and if we break this level, we are just going to rally. Then you had a couple of days before earnings, you moved over resistance at 111, and then kept going up and up and up and up. Now it's coming down and it's retesting that 35 SMA. So at this point, I'm not too interested in what is happening. Again, I'm just pointing out the moves that I was calling that actually came and that actually happened and hopefully benefited some of you. So that was SHAK. Again, I mentioned this on October 24th or 25th, and then you had this beautiful move to the upside. Another name that I mentioned was in the past was Soon or Sound, and yeah, we were back here again on the 35 SMA. My thesis was like we either gonna retest a 35 SMA or come down to this trend line. So what happened? We actually came to a 35 SMA, this nice move up. So there was an opportunity here, and then you came down to a 35 SMA, and then the actual move came in. Now you had earnings right after, and you lost a lot of momentum, and it looks like we are coming back up. Today was up 3.4%. So anyways, the actual move was this. I was alerting on this name right here towards when we were hitting that 35 SMA and getting very close on retesting this trend line. This still has a little bit of room, in my opinion. There is low liquidity here, so this area is going to be volatile, but we'll see what happens afterwards. But yeah, I gave you this back in October 24th or October 23rd, one of these days. Now let's move on to the last one that I've been talking to for a while, but I think this one is low-hanging fruit, and that was Tesla. Now, I've been in the Tesla roller coaster for a while. I was alerting Tesla back here, and this was beginning of September, and then we had this another formation here, and then we went towards 265 and whatnot. But anyways, the way I was analyzing Tesla was by ranges. I've done the same with HIMS, for example. So I would give a long or a very decent spread between ranges. And the reason is because the way I know Tesla trades. So you have this type of erratic behavior, for lack of a better term. But anyways, I knew that there was psychological areas and also support and resistance structure on the chart. Anyways, we went up towards 265. Then we came down with news and whatnot. Then you got earnings, and then after these earnings, you just continue going up towards 265 again. We had this kind of like, I wouldn't call it a flag, but you had this cool down or a pullback, and then after the election, you actually continue running and running and running. Now we have a couple of gaps right here, but you know, one of the things that is interesting for Tesla is, and we're still in this range, and my range, and I've been alerting this name this way, is 300 to 364, which is a very wide spread. But in reality, I'm trying to consider the wide moves that Tesla can actually bring us. That being said, at least let's do a little quick analysis. We have 3 inside candles right now. That tells you that the next move is going to be a little bit volatile, in my opinion. We'll see in which direction we move. Hopefully it's to the upside. I'm a Tesla stockholder, so I have a bias. But in reality, let's see what we get here. You had this very undecisive neutral candle right here, and then you have 3 inside candles that, you know, at this point, in my humble opinion, it also tell you a little bit of an indecision on how the market is behaving for Tesla. Let's do 30 minutes. Let's close this video with that. So yeah, so you have this behavior right here. We have been flat basically for 3 or 4 days. Anyways, that's all I have. Hopefully you guys made you know, took in consideration some of the calls and did your research based on those calls. Who knows? But anyways, I appreciate everybody watching the videos. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and then tomorrow I'll go back to normal technical analysis. I just wanted to mention some of the names that actually worked out, and I do have quite a few more in X that were actually incredible moves. Anyways, Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you all. Bye-bye.